Welcome back, baseball fans, to another Explainer. Today, we're diving into a night of absolute high drama in Chicago. We are looking at a gritty, hard-fought 9-5 victory by the New York Yankees over the Chicago White Sox. Honestly, if you love baseball, this game had literally everything you could ask for. We're going to unpack this matchup as a true masterclass in resilience and dramatic momentum shifts, and figure out exactly how a team pulls themselves out of the fire when everything seems to be going wrong.
Okay, let's dive into this by setting the stage. We're looking at two very serious playoff contenders clashing in a crucial four-game series. The Yankees rolled into guaranteed rate field boasting a strong 60-46 record, while the White Sox were right in the thick of their own divisional race at 55-50. You could tell the atmosphere was electric, and the stakes for both of these squads could not have been higher.
But the Yankees were actually carrying a really heavy burden of pressure into this matchup. They'd lost 3 of their last 4 games, and they desperately needed to snap that mini skid to keep their divisional hopes alive. Because of this gritty win, they managed to pull themselves within just 2.5 games of the idle Tampa Bay Rays for the AL East lead. So this wasn't just another game in August, right? This was absolutely a statement game.
Act 1, the early hole. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the story begins with starting pitcher Max Fried. He was making just his second start since coming off the injured list, and he was supposed to build on a terrific 5-inning shutout he'd just thrown against the Pirates. Instead, well, it was kind of a nightmare. He only lasted 3 innings, giving up 5 hits and 3 earned runs on 66 pitches. It was his shortest start of the entire season, and a major step back for a pitcher New York was heavily relying on.
And the White Sox, they quite literally came out swinging from the very first pitch. Just think about this rapid-fire sequence from the bottom of the first. Randall Grichuk leads off with a double to left, aided by a Yankees defensive miscue on the relay, which put him right into scoring position. From there, the floodgates completely opened. Colson Montgomery drives in a run with a single. Then, with 2 outs, Braden Montgomery rips a huge triple off the wall to clear the bases. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, the Yankees were staring up from the bottom of a 3-0 hole.
Act 2, sparking the rally.
So, how exactly does a professional offense manufacture a comeback? Well, this sequence in the top of the fourth illustrates it perfectly. Ben Rice starts it off with a patient leadoff walk. Then Justin Dominguez and Paul Goldschmidt do their jobs. They just keep the line moving. That sets the stage for the team's new spark plug, Jazz Chisholm Jr., who delivers a super clutch 2-run double to bring the Yankees right back into the fight. But Jazz wasn't done. Showcasing his incredibly high baseball IQ and sheer athleticism, he alertly steals third base and then scores. Just an amazing burst of energy to get New York right back in it.
However, the White Sox were definitely not ready to roll over. In the bottom of the 5th, Chicago answered right back. Miguel Vargas doubled and then scored on another Colson Montgomery single, knotting the game up at 4-4. From there, a really tense, scoreless stalemate settled over the stadium. Both bullpens totally locked down, and the suspense just continued to build and build as we crept into the late innings.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Act 3, the turning point.
The Yankees desperately needed a hero to break the stalemate, and they actually got one from an unexpected source. Pinch hitter Ahmed Rosario leads off the 7th with a crucial double. Then, White Sox catcher Edgar Quero makes a really costly throwing error, which allows Rosario to advance to third. So now with 2 outs and the pressure totally on, Ben Rice steps up to the plate and delivers a clutch, go-ahead RBI single. That's his 73rd RBI of the season, by the way, and it gave the Yankees a crucial 5-4 lead. But hey, taking the lead is only half the battle, right? Keeping it is a whole other story. In the bottom half of that very same inning, the White Sox threatened to tie it right back up. With a runner on first, Chase Meidrith hits a deep double. Colson Montgomery turns on the Jets, trying to score all the way from first base. But listen to this execution. Left fielder Max Schumann, who was only out there because Cody Bellinger was injured, fires a perfect relay to shortstop Anthony Volpe. Volpe turns, guns a strike home to catcher Sánchez, who applies the tag just in time. Montgomery is out at the plate, an absolutely game-saving defensive gem to preserve that 1-run lead.
Act 4, the exclamation point. The setup for this next bit of magic started with Justin Dominguez and Anthony Volpe, who opened the 8th with back-to-back singles. Then, Jazz Chisholm Jr., just continuing his spectacular night, lays down a bunt single that forces a throwing error, scoring Dominguez and extending the lead to 6-4. So we now have runners on the corners, 2 outs, and the stage is perfectly set for a moment literally no one in that stadium will ever forget.
1. Just 1. That number represents something incredibly special. It represents the very first career Major League home run for catcher Sánchez.
You see, this isn't just a stat, it's a fantastic human story. Sánchez is a 29-year-old catcher from Venezuela. He spent the last 9 years just grinding, bouncing across 6 different minor and major league organizations, waiting for a moment exactly like this one. With a full count, 2 outs, and the game hanging in the balance, he connected. He absolutely crushed a 93.2-mile-per-hour fastball deep into the left field seats for a 3-run home run. It was his first career big league homer, and it instantly gave the Yankees a commanding 9-4 lead.
You really can't fake the raw emotion of a moment like that. In his post-game interview, Sánchez laid it all out there. He said, "I felt like I was living a dream, running the bases, just a little kid running from Venezuela in a small town." This quote right here, this shows you exactly why we watch sports. It's the culmination of almost a decade of unseen, grueling hard work finally paying off under the brightest lights imaginable.
And Yankees manager Aaron Boone completely hit the nail on the head when he summarized the emotional weight of that inning. He noted, "Everyone's journey is different, and Ollie's one of those." That home run wasn't just an insurance run, folks. It was the ultimate exclamation point on an incredibly hard-fought, emotional victory for this entire roster.
Epilogue. Final out and looking ahead.
Now, to their credit, the White Sox definitely did not go quietly into the night. They pushed hard in the 9th inning, scratching across one more run and actually bringing the tying run all the way to the on-deck circle. But Yankees closer David Bednar was called upon to shut the door. He struck out Chase Meadroth with 2 men on base to secure his 21st save of the season, finalizing the score at 9-5. Looking ahead to Game 2, the pitching matchup is super fascinating. The Yankees are going to send their ace, Jarrett Cole, to the mound, looking to capitalize on this massive offensive explosion. The White Sox will counter with left-hander Anthony Kay. For Chicago, dropping this opener was a tough pill to swallow. It was a genuinely missed opportunity to build on their lead in the fiercely competitive AL Central.
So the crucial point is this. Is this the exact gritty comeback the Yankees needed? We saw them win a total slugfest, even when their starting pitching completely faltered out of the gate. Championship teams find ways to win when Plan A goes out the window, right? They rely on defensive relays, pinch hitters, and unlikely heroes like Ali Sánchez. Did we just watch the momentum shift that will ultimately propel the Yankees to the AL East title? I'll leave you to ponder that as we wait for the next pitch. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.